All right, so get this. We're going deep today on a book that's, well, it's a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
It's a detective thriller, it's a philosophical puzzle, and it's definitely intriguing. We're talking G.K. Chesterton's The Man Who Was Thursday,
Uh-huh.
published over a century ago, but trust me, this is not your typical whodunit.
Not at all. Chesterton, he was a master at weaving together all these what seem like totally different elements.
Right.
And in this novel, he uses this mystery framework,
Yeah.
to explore these deep questions about identity.
Oh, I know. The order, the chaos.
Yeah, that tension between the two, and then even bigger, like the very nature of belief.
Huge questions, right. And we've got excerpts from the book itself, some insightful analysis, and a whole lot of questions to ponder. So if you're just joining us for this deep dive, buckle up.
You're getting me too.
Imagine a world where undercover cops are infiltrating these anarchist groups.
Oh, I love this part.
And then it gets even crazier, like the days of the week. They become people, and honestly, nothing is what it seems.
Classic Chesterton.
Sounds captivating.
Absolutely. It all revolves around this character. Gabriel Syme, he's a poet.
Oh, a poet turned secret agent.
Yes. Working for Scotland Yard, no less.
Very cool.
And his mission, should he choose to accept it, is to infiltrate this shadowy group, the Council of 7 Days.
Okay, shadowy. I like it. What are they up to?
Anarchists, my friend, plotting to disrupt the world as we know it.
Now, that's where it gets really interesting. Each member of this council, they're named after a day of the week.
You got it.
Syme, of course, becomes Thursday, not your average undercover alias.
Not at all.
I mean, these names are practically like code words. What do you think Chesterton's trying to tell us with this whole day of the week thing?
I think it's brilliant. On one level, it's definitely playing with this idea of hidden identities, which, let's be honest, that's central to the entire plot.
Absolutely.
But I also think Chesterton's kind of nudging us, to think about how much our labels actually define us.
Our labels.
Yeah, our roles. Even something as random as what day of the week we're linked to.
Yeah.
I mean, does being Thursday change Syme at his core?
Right, or is there something deeper there? A truer self, like underneath it all?
Exactly.
It really makes you think about all the different hats we wear in our own lives. Are we really just our jobs, our social groups, all the labels people slap on us? Or is there something more to it?
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that whole cushion of identity, it runs through the entire book. Symus Thursday is constantly questioning, who am I? What do I believe?
He's in an existential crisis.
Absolutely. This undercover gig forces him into this constant performance.
Yeah.
It begs the question, how much of our own identity is just us playing a part?
Ooh, that's a good point. And all of this is going down against this massive battle between order and chaos.
An epic showdown.
We've got the anarchists. They think destroying every structure will lead to, what do they call it? True freedom.
Yeah, total liberation.
And then there's Syme. He's like the champion of law and order. It's the classic showdown. But Chesterton, he's too clever to just be like, order good, chaos bad, right?
Oh, you know better than that. He was way too nuanced.
Yeah. So what's he doing?
Exploring the paradox. That's what... See, too much order, that can be oppressive. It can stifle individuality and all that creativity.
Right, right.
But then if chaos runs wild, well, you get anarchy.
Yeah.
A world where literally anything goes, and that's terrifying.
Oh, for sure. Imagine no rules, no structure, just pure unpredictability.
Total chaos.
Total chaos. So then where's the sweet spot? How do we balance this need for order, but also this deep desire for freedom?
Now that is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
That Chesterton grapples with throughout the whole book. He's not giving us easy answers, that's for sure.
Yeah, but he's making us think.
Oh, absolutely. He's
Yeah.
forcing us to really face this age-old dilemma, like how do we live in the world?
And then, of course, we've got to talk about Sunday,
Yes, son.
the mysterious leader of this whole anarchist crew.
Lurking in the shadows.
Pulling strings, but never really showing his hand. What's your take on Sunday? What's he all about?
Sunday. He's one of the most fascinating characters in the book, and Chesterton does this thing where he makes his motives really unclear on purpose.
Oh, he keeps us guessing.
Yeah. On the one hand, he seems like chaos personified, right? The mastermind behind all these anarchist plots. But then there are these hints that he might be something more.
Something more. Like what?
Like a force we can't even comprehend that embraces both order and a chaos.
Whoa, that's getting deep. It's like he's playing a game we're not even aware of.
It really is.
Like we're all just pawns on his chessboard.
And it makes you wonder, is there some kind of higher order? A plan that we just can't see, but it's playing out around us?
That's a big question.
It is, and that idea that there might be a reason behind even the most chaotic stuff, That's central to Chesterton's whole view of the world.
I mean, the guy was a devout Christian.
Right. And he believed in this divine order that governs everything, like a guiding hand. It's called providence.
Okay, so we've got secret agents, we've got days of the week running around as people, anarchists trying to blow it all up, and this feeling that there's a bigger game afoot that we're not even a part of.
That about sums it up.
Where do we go from here? What else do we need to unpack about The Man Who Was Thursday?
Oh, we're just getting started. One of the things that really grabs you about The Man Who Was Thursday is, well, it's how Chesterton brings these, like, big philosophical ideas to life.
Oh, yeah. It's not just some dry lecture, right?
No way. It's like he's painting these incredible pictures, but with words, you know?
Absolutely. And he pulls you into this world that's surreal.
It's almost dreamlike.
For example, there's this crazy chase scene through London.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. The anarchists are after Syme, and the way it's written, it's so bizarre, almost like a movie.
That chase, it's the perfect example of how Chesterton blends, like, the literal action with the symbolic meaning.
Oh, I see.
So on the surface, you've got this thrilling chase, right? But then it's also about Syme's search for truth.
Uh-huh.
His struggle to break free from this chaos that's closing in.
You can practically feel it. You're running right there with him. And what about that dinner party? The one Sunday throws.
Oh, don't even get me started on that dinner party.
It's insane. Like, everything's distorted, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what's real, who to trust if you're going crazy. It's wild.
It's like Chesterton flips everything on its head in that scene.
Yeah.
You'd think you're going to get this clash between order and chaos.
Right.
But instead, you get this bizarre gathering.
It's almost comical.
Yeah, and the lines between good and evil, they just vanish.
He's saying the world isn't black and white, right?
Yeah.
It's not as simple as we want it to be.
Exactly. There aren't always just good guys and bad guys.
Like real life. And that complexity, you see it in the characters, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Syme. He starts off, you think, oh, here's the hero. He's going to fight the bad guys, save the day. But then, as the story unfolds, you see him really struggling.
Yeah, with his own doubts.
With his own identity.
Right. It's as if being Thursday changes him. But it's like from the inside out.
It's like he's becoming the mask. Like, does he even know who he really is anymore?
That's the question, isn't it? All this undercover stuff forces him to confront these different sides of himself. The order and the chaos, it's all swirling around inside him.
It's all connected. And it brings us back to that central theme, identity. Syme's journey, it's not just about nabbing these criminals. It's about figuring out who he is in a world where everyone's identity is in flux, you know? Nothing's stable.
Yeah, like even our own identities can feel that way sometimes.
Makes you wonder, what does it even mean to have a true self? You know, one thing I love about this book, even with all this deep stuff, Chesterton still manages to be funny.
Oh yeah, his sense of humor, it's golden. Even in the middle of the serious philosophical bits, he throws in these moments of wit, these absurdities. It's great.
Right. It's like he's letting us in on a joke. Like, hey, don't get too serious about all this.
Exactly. And that humor, you really see it when he's describing the anarchists and their, shall we say, interesting plans to destroy the world.
All those plans, they're so out there, so over the top. Remember that one scene where they're debating whether to blow up the Eiffel Tower or flood London with green paint?
Classic. It's satire at its finest, honestly.
See, it is.
Poking fun at all these intellectual movements. They were everywhere back then. He's kind of saying, look, even the most extreme ideas, usually they come from this desire to make things better.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little misguided.
So he's critiquing them, but he's not saying they're all evil, right?
Not at all. He sees the funny side of it.
Yeah.
You know, they're flawed logic, these grand schemes. And he does it in a way that makes you laugh and think at the same time.
He was a clever guy.
The best kind.
Okay, so we've talked characters, symbolism, philosophical themes. We've even touched on Chesterton's humor.
It's all there.
But I know our listeners are dying to know, how does it all end? Now, no spoilers, but can you at least give us a hint? What awaits us in the final chapter of The Man Who Was Thursday?
Well, let me just say this. The ending of this book, it's one of the most surprising and thought-provoking conclusions in all of literature.
Ooh, intriguing.
Remember all that tension between order and chaos we've been talking about?
How could I forget? It's everywhere in this book.
Well, Chesterton, he doesn't leave us hanging. He gives us a resolution. But it's not neat and tidy, let me tell you that.
Okay, now I'm really curious. Spill the beans. But actually, maybe we should save the big reveal for part 3.
Yeah, good idea.
I think our listeners need a little time to digest all this. It's a lot to take in.
It is. Let's give them a chance to ponder the mysteries, of The Man Who Was Thursday. And then we'll get to the heart of the matter.
Okay, we're back, and I don't know about you, but my head's still spinning from all these twists and turns in The Man Who Was Thursday. We've covered secret identities, the whole order versus chaos thing, even Chesterton's, playful humor.
It's a wild ride.
But now, it's time for the main event, the ending.
The grand finale is where everything comes together, and it'll leave you thinking, trust me, remember where we left off.
Oh yeah, with Chesterton's whole idea of providence.
Exactly, that possibility of a higher order working behind the scenes.
Right, right.
Well, hold on tight, because this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, hit me with it. What's the big reveal?
So throughout the book, Syme and the other anarchists, they're chasing this mysterious Sunday.
Yeah, they think he's the source of all the chaos.
Right, like the ultimate bad guy they have to defeat. But, and here's the mind-blowing part, it turns out Sunday's not who they think he is.
No.
No, he's not the embodiment of chaos. He's actually a representative of the very forces of order they're trying to destroy.
Whoa, wait a minute. He's been playing them this whole time.
It's a total twist. Throws everything we thought we knew on its head. But it's not like he's just a double agent or some trickster, you know? His reasons are way deeper than that.
Deeper. Okay, now I have to know. Spill the beans.
Sunday explains that he let the chaos happen. He even kind of orchestrated it to test and ultimately to strengthen those who are fighting for order. He believes real strength, real virtue, it only comes from facing hardship, from grappling with those doubts and uncertainties, all that stuff.
It's like a giant cosmic chess game.
I like that.
Where order and chaos are always duking it out, but it's all part of some grand, preordained plan.
You got it. And remember we talked about Chesterton's faith?
Yeah.
That idea of a divine plan, a purpose behind our struggles, it's core to his old belief system. Even in the chaos, even when things seem their darkest, there's this guiding hand leading us towards something good.
It's a powerful message, especially when the world feels so out of control sometimes. So how does Syme take all of this? I mean, the whole book he thinks he's battling chaos, and then bam, turns out the chaos was engineered by the very thing he stands for. That's got to mess with your head.
It does. It totally does. It's a complete crisis for Syme.
Hey.
Everything he thought he knew about the world, about himself even, it's flipped upside down.
Yeah.
He has to face this possibility that he's just been a pawn in this game he didn't even realize he was playing.
Poor Syme. So does he, completely lose it? Reject everything he believed in?
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But no, surprisingly.
Really?
At first, yeah, he's confused, he's shaken up. Makes sense. But after wrestling with all those doubts and anxieties, he comes around.
He accepts it.
He accepts it. He realizes that order and chaos, they're not enemies. They're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Both necessary for the universe to tick, and for us to grow as people.
It's like we need both in our lives. It's not about picking one over the other. It's finding a way to hold both, see how they're connected.
Exactly. And that, to me, is the heart of The Man Who Was Thursday. Life's full of contradictions, these paradoxes, and it's by leaning into them, wrestling with the big questions, that we find real meaning.
It really makes you think differently about everything. About the world, about yourself, about what it all means. It's like Chesterton is saying, hey, get out of your comfort zone. Question what you think you know. And don't be afraid of the mystery.
I love that. And The Man Who Was Thursday is not a book that gives you easy answers.
No, it definitely makes you work for it.
It challenges you, pushes you to think, and in the end, I think it leaves you with this sense of hope. Even when the world seems dark and chaotic, there's a deeper meaning there, a purpose, a truth waiting to be uncovered.
I've got to say, when I started this whole deep dive, I thought I was in for a detective story.
Yeah, it's so much more than that.
It's a philosophical adventure, it's theological, it's even funny. It's amazing how he brings it all together.
That's Chesterton for you. A master of blending genres, of weaving together all these different ideas into something truly unique and unforgettable. So as we wrap up our deep dive into The Man Who Was Thursday, what's the one thing you hope sticks with our listeners?
Good question. I hope they come away with this renewed sense of wonder, of curiosity about the world, that they start looking at everything, the people, the events in their lives, and ask themselves, is there something bigger at play here, a plan I can't see yet? And maybe, just maybe, they find some comfort in knowing that even in the chaos, there's a chance for meaning, for purpose, for a deeper truth just waiting to be discovered. So until next time.